My name is Emma Berry, independent candidate for 3rd U.S. Congressional District of Texas. I'm running against 20-year incumbent Sam Johnson. This is part one of a series of discussions that I've developed discussing what I think is wrong with our country today and what we can do about it. This is part one, beginning to understand. If we are going to save our nation and our democracy, we are going to have to elect representatives from Main Street, ordinary citizens from Main Street, independent intelligence not connected to established parties. There are a few good Democrats and there are a few good Republicans. However, the key word here is few. By and large, our two-party system is corrupted and is in fact part of the problem that we face today. The two parties are indistinguishable in their unfettered willingness to give away middle-class American tax dollars to Wall Street and to the upper 5% of the wealthiest people in this nation. You can hardly tell in this aspect, you can hardly tell a Democrat from a Republican these days. And that should come as no surprise to us, since 263, almost half of all of our elected officials in Washington, D.C. are themselves multimillionaires. They represent Wall Street and the upper 5% of the wealthiest people in our nation, and not those of us, the majority of us who come from Main Street. I'm an independent, but I'm not part of the Tea Party movement. And I certainly do not agree with most of the leadership of the Tea Party movement who recently spoke at their meeting in Tennessee. And I certainly do not agree with the racist remarks of Tom Tancredo. Tom Tancredo does not deserve the attention of any audience as far as I'm concerned. But that's what often happens with those in power, and then the movements that rise up in protest of the parties in power. These people choose scapegoats, and often the scapegoats are themselves the worst victims of the party in power. No finer example than we have of this today, actually, than the treatment and the disparagement of the illegal immigrants in this country. And I will discuss that in part two of my discussions. Then we also have, in addition to the disparagement and choice of illegal immigrants as one of the scapegoats who are responsible for our current economic crisis, we have senators like Senator John Kyle recently, who attacked the working class and the working poor of this nation by saying that we should not extend unemployment benefits because that would be a disincentive for work in this jobless economy. I suggest that Senator Kyle should open his eyes to some news stories and perhaps read the newspaper a little more often, because what he would see if he did would be pictures of Americans lining up in the early, cold, dark morning hours for the few jobs that might be available. Americans are not working because they don't want to work. This is the same sort of disparagement and scapegoating of the working poor that Ronald Reagan was so famous for. This needs to stop. This is no solution to choose a scapegoat and blame them for the economic crisis. Not only is it unfair, it does not affect any solutions that will change things for America. So to summarize, first of all, we have to forget about the two parties. Both the Democrat and the Republican leadership are Wall Street corrupted to the core. We cannot look to the Tea Party movement for much improvement on that either. What we must do is we must encourage our neighbors and our people from Main Street to stand up and run for office in 2010 and 2012. We must remove the professional politicians from office and get some Main Street, not Wall Street representation if we're going to save our democracy. We must elect true Americans, individuals, not members of Tea Party movements or members of either party for that matter, but true individual, independent Americans who will bring solutions to Congress and restore our democracy. And I believe that I'm one of these people. I know I'm one of these people. And if you elect me, I'll show you exactly how I'm one of these people. Thank you.